So welcome to tonight's Zoom. My name is Megan Teskey. For those of you that don't know me, I have been a coach on Team Fit Legacy for like 3.5 years now. Um, Gosh, wow, that seems like so long, but it's gone by really fast. So um, as we talked about last time, is that we are going to, there's 4 of us, I believe, that are in Cody Jefferson's focus group, and we are going to share with you some of the things we've been learning, because this training is absolutely amazing, and it's totally changing the way that we are viewing not necessarily coaching, but how we're presenting ourselves on social media and how we're interacting with people. And it is awesome. So tonight I'm going to share with you about sharing and stop selling on social media. And there's a reason for this. And when I started coaching 3.5 years ago, doing all these like call to actions where it was just like, hey, if you want to buy this, let me know. It worked. Like, there wasn't as much people selling things on social media back then, and it worked. And now it doesn't work because there's so much going on with people selling things online that it just doesn't work anymore. So you can post that stuff, you can do that, but you'll notice that you're really not getting anything. That's just crickets. Okay. So we know that the selling posts, they don't work anymore. They used to work. They don't work anymore. So stop doing it. Okay. You're just making people kind of afraid. They're going to start running away if you're not careful. They can tell when you're trying to sell them something, and they are going to run away. They can tell when you reach out to them on like even Messenger. If your intent is to only reach out to them to sell them something, they can tell. Like, they can read that in the way that you're talking to them. Okay. Because everyone's selling something. I mean, holy cow, we have so many people that are selling stuff. And so everybody's kind of scared. They don't want you just to friend them because they want you to sell them something. They don't want that. So I'm going to go through some things that not to do, and then we're going to really talk about like things that you should be doing. Okay. There's so much. Oh my gosh, you guys, there's so much that it's going to be hard to like break it down into just pieces. So bear with me if I talk really fast. Because I'm recording it, so you can go back and watch it if you want. So one thing you need to stop doing is you need to stop cold messaging people. I know that was something that we did when I first started coaching, because that's what they told you to do. It's just like, reach out to people. You never know who's going to join you. Well, it's weird. They don't know you. And if you are like, maybe you have mutual friends, but you're not like friends with them, and you reach out to them with like, hey, I love seeing pictures of your kids. Do you want to buy a challenge pack? Number one, they're going to be like, whoa, who's this crazy lady talking about my kids? Number one, that I don't know. And why would I want to buy something from you? So don't do it. It really doesn't work, and it really puts a bad taste for them about you. So don't do that. Even though we were told to do it in the past, don't do it anymore. Stop posting your self-worth, like sweaty selfies every day. That was something also that we were taught to do, to show that you're being a product of the product by posting it every day. Well, don't do that, because number one, that so many coaches are doing that it doesn't work. They're just like scroll, 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 scroll. Even if you have a really good message with that selfie, they see that post-workout selfie and they're like, and they're going to keep scrolling because there's so many of them. And you need to stop doing all your Shakeology and your Energize posts. It's okay to do some of those once in a while, but you got to have a really good story with it, okay? And don't just post a picture of it. Because again, everybody's doing that. Everybody's posting about their liquid gold, their Energize, and we know that it's awesome, but they're getting sick and tired of hearing about it, right? And same with your Shakeology. So it's not working anymore. It used to work. It's just not anymore, because there's so many hundreds of people that are doing the same thing. And people are just sick of seeing it. So the other thing is that everybody is doing, and that All of these things, people, I am guilty. I am 100% guilty of doing them all. And that's why I'm sharing them with you, right? Because this is what we were told to do. Yes, yes. And so stop asking your Facebook audience to make decisions for you. You know, I will tell you that when I first started getting Stitch Fix, I love Stitch Fix, okay? I've stopped because I spent way too much money. But I would ask, like, which outfits I should get. And back when I started doing that, that's been a couple years ago, it worked really well. Worked so well to get people engaged with you and to kind of build that up on your page. But now everybody's doing it again. So people know, they can tell what you're trying to do because now they know, oh, I commented on her thing one time and then she messaged me right away and was like, hey, do you want to buy this? Right? And so it doesn't work anymore because everybody was doing that and it's just really scaring people off. So don't do that anymore. So I want you to think about a couple things and then we're going to like leave them and then we'll come back to them at the end. Okay. So if you have to write them down, write them down. And I hope that you do take notes as we get to the part of what you should start posting about. And you will notice, okay, hold on, I'm getting ahead of myself. Think about this. Write them down if you have to, because I want you thinking about it. What captivated you about Beachbody? What drew you to Beachbody? Why did you become a coach? And I don't mean like, oh, because I want to help people. No. What deep down captivated you about that? Why did you want to be a part of that? Why did you want to join them? Okay. And then the next one is, how are you branding yourself on social media? If you were to ask people like what they see you as, who are you? Okay, who are you portraying yourself to be on social media? Think about those things because we're going to come back to them at the end. So what we're going to do, and I'm a hand talker if you haven't noticed, so if you got this going, I'm sorry. So how can you sell without selling? That's what we're going to talk about. Because one thing that we have to remember, and it is so easy, guys, to get off of this and to look at making a sale and to look at getting Success Club points and to look at it as, oh my gosh, I needed to have another coach join me so I can rank advance. And that's how we were geared. That's how we were taught from corporate for so many years to do this. And it's not working anymore because I will tell you from experience that when you do that, they fall off because they're not in it for the right reasons. Okay? How do you sell without selling on social media? You need to start talking about things that people want to listen to. They don't want to listen to how your workout, you rocked it. They don't want to listen to how you drink your superfood smoothie every day and it helps you poop regularly and feel good. You know, they don't want to hear that, even though it's true. Okay? They want to hear about things that they can relate to. You will notice that Stephanie and Kaylee and Bree and I have started posting on our social media in a completely different way. And if you go and check out our pages, and I've been really, I haven't been posting as much because I'm really being thoughtful on what I want to say, and I'm working on what I want to say. And one thing is that you need to talk about what people want to hear. They need to relate to you, okay? And we're telling stories. And you will see that a lot of our posts are kind of long. And I'll tell you about kind of how we're developing those here in a little bit. But you need to show up in a way on social media that you can lead people. Show up in a way that you can create an audience of people that you want to follow you, that are like you, right? Your avatar, who's like you, who you want to attract, right? We're not going into all of that because that's way more than just one Zoom. But you need to show up in a way on social media that you're attracting people and that you need to talk about things that they want to hear, okay? One of the biggest things that was really hard for me is sharing about my life. And it's not hard because I had a bad life, because I did not. I had a really good life growing up. You know, I had my mom and dad who were always there for me and provided for me. And I had two brothers And yeah, we fought like cats and dogs growing up, but that's just the way it is. And my parents are still married, and we are your normal middle class family. No, we didn't have a lot of money, but my parents provided for us just fine. We didn't know any better, and so that was hard for me to share, because I always thought that you had to have some big problem to share about and to talk about to offer a solution. And guess what? Not everybody has that. Okay. Yeah, we all have issues, right? But as far as like problems, I was afraid to share about my life, because I thought people would think I was bragging, because I come from a quote unquote normal family back in the day. It's not normal anymore, that my parents are still married to this day, and that we had a good life. But you need to share about those things if you did have a good life, because that's who you are, right? That's what you came from, and that helps build who you are as a person. Not to say that if you have problems that you don't share about that in the right way. In the right way. You share about those struggles only once you have discovered a way to overcome them, right? You don't want to be the poor pity party me on social media. And when you are looking for possible coaches, you don't want somebody that's a pity party person on social media, because that's how people see them, right? And you don't want that. If they're constantly ranting and all of that, that's not probably who you're wanting to attract. But you need to share about your life no matter what happens, okay? But don't share about your struggles in a way that is a pity party. You need to share about like how you, what happened, okay? You need to share about how you dealt with it and overcame it, and how it's changed your life. But here's the thing is, you need to do it in the right way. You need to do it in a way that you're drawing people to you, doing it in a way that people can relate to you, okay? Draw them in. You need to address their pain points, because when we have struggles and we're talking to people about things, those struggles that you have, somebody else has those same struggles, right? Because we're not ever in any of our situations alone. And then you need to show them how to overcome it, or a way that you have overcome it. So for instance, I will give you my last, the last story. I actually wrote a letter, which I'll talk about. My last post was a letter about hypothyroidism or thyroid dysfunction. And you have to talk about, and I talked about how you're tired of being exhausted, you're tired of the med changes, you're tired of blah, 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 all the things that go along with hypothyroidism, right? And then I get into my story and how it's affected me and what I went through with my struggle. And then at the end, I come around to how I overcame that and how that they can do it too, right? It's not just, I'm nobody special. I am just another person that has not necessarily overcame, but overcame the roller coaster of it, right? So I targeted all of those points. So you need to draw them in. You need to hit on their pain points, whatever it is you may be talking about. And it needs to be specific, guys. Okay. One thing that I know that I did is I did not want to be the person that created conflict, because I don't like it. Now, if I'm in it, I will deal with it very forcefully if I need to, but I don't like to be in it at all. Okay. But you need to sometimes, like, you need to talk about what really matters to you. And it's okay if people don't agree, right? And then show them how they can overcome it. Now, here's the thing, and here's how this will relate to coaching, is that people need to trust you, right? They need to know that you're a real person and that you're there to help them in any way that you can. And it might not be through a challenge pack, people. It might not be through Beachbody in general. It might be in another way. Maybe it's you're dealing with anxiety and they need some techniques to deal with anxiety that is not even related to what you're doing as a Beachbody coach, but it does relate to coaching, right? Because you're going to serve them in a way. And once you serve them in that way, helping them. Maybe it's through personal development. Maybe it's through meditation and positive affirmations. Maybe it's through whatever. They build that trust with you. Then down the road, if they're struggling with anything else and they want to start working out or doing something, who are they going to come to? They're going to come to someone that they can trust. And that person is you. Okay? Because you're building a relationship with them. And it's not a one and done, right? I work in long-term care. I do physical therapy in a nursing home. And I will tell you that on a daily basis, I see what life ends up like, okay, for every single person, if you live to be old. And the only thing that they cherish is the relationships that they've built with other people. And you can see the people that were assholes, sorry kids, because they have nobody that come to visit them. It is so sad. They have nobody there. Some of them, their families don't even come because they never had a good relationship. They never worked on those relationships with people. Okay? When it comes down to it, in the end, like the relationships you have with your family and your friends and developing more friends is all that matters. Okay? So this is not just about, it's not just about selling Beachbody. This is you being a health and fitness coach, whatever that means, you know? So, for me right now, I'm really into helping kids. And are my high school kids and the 7th grade AAU volleyball team going to purchase a challenge pack? Hell no. But I'm building relationships with them, right? And I had a girl in the weight room ask me last week, what do you do? Because she knows I do online coaching. What do you do? And I'm like, well, I do this. And she's like, can you make money? I'm like, yeah. She's like, oh, I want to do that. I'm like, well, when you turn 18, you come talk to me and we'll do it, right? That's what it's about. But I'm working with her every single 3 days a week, right? Okay, so it's about building those relationships with people. All right, so I want to talk about a couple things with posting, because if you know me, I'm a squirrel. I will get off in different directions. Okay, so in your posts, you want to think about a few different things when you're posting. You want it to be engaging. Okay. Are you talking in a conversation where you want people to interact with you? That might be one type of post that you're doing. Another type of post that you're entertaining them. Okay. Like stupid things or funny things that kids do is so entertaining. And you are going to get people that are like, they like that. Like it's funny, you know, the things that your kids say or do. Yeah. I mean, anything entertaining, right? That can be a post. Just to have fun, because sometimes social media gets so stressful. Whoa, they just need something totally carefree to laugh. And then the third one is to equip them with something. You got to teach them something valuable to establish trust. And I'm not talking just health and fitness. I'm talking about anything that you have found that's really good that can help other people. And I mean, anything like how to make the perfect hard-boiled eggs. You know how hard it is to make the perfect hard-boiled eggs, right? Yeah. And I found out how. And you know why? Because I asked on social media one time, and it was the best dang post I ever made, only because I truly wanted to know how to make the best hard-boiled eggs where they weren't green in the middle. So, share that type of stuff with people. Give them knowledge about anything that you figured out or that someone has shared with you or whatever. Okay. Hold on. I got all my papers in a mess here. So one thing you want to do is you need to tell a story in a different way. It's not just telling a story to tell a story. You need to be calculated when you're posting a story. Okay. You need to touch on an emotional level. And that can be so hard on social media. So hard, right? You've got to touch them here. They've got to feel it. And I'm not going to tell you that everybody's going to feel it, but who cares? You're not after everybody. You're after those certain people, right? So, and it needs to be something that's going to be like that could be life-changing for them. doesn't have to be health and fitness. And I keep saying that because it is so true, guys. It is so true. We've got to start focusing on serving others and not just selling to them. Because I guarantee, because I've done it for 3 years, I've sold to them, and guess what? They don't come back. You know, they've got their stuff, not always, but and then they're done. You've sold to them. But when you serve them in any way possible, they are going to continue to come back to you because they trust you and because you're building a relationship with them. All right. So posts, I would recommend, I know I share my posts with friends before I post them because they can help me, right? They can help me rearrange. They can help me with the wording before I post it to really make an impact. Because sometimes when we're reading it, we need someone to say, oh, no, switch these around and it'll make a bigger impact. I highly recommend that, right? Share it with any of us. I'd love to read your posts. Excuse me, if you are wanting to post something that's deep, okay? I know any of us would. So you want to write it out first and see how it is, whether you're a pen and paper person or Google Docs, whatever you are. But on the front end of your post, you need to engage them somehow. I did the one where muscles on women are gross, right? That was engaging. Some people are probably like, what? And getting torqued off immediately before they read the rest, okay? That you've got to hook them in to want to keep reading. Because when you're telling a story, it's not necessarily going to be 2 lines, okay? It might be 3 to 5 paragraphs long. So engage them from the front end. It's okay that it's a little controversial. And Stephanie talked about this last week and how sometimes what you post at the top isn't always exactly what you're going to talk about. It might kind of relate to that, but they get a different feeling of exactly what you're going to talk about. I wasn't talking about muscles on women are gross. I was talking about the fallacies that people believe with weightlifting for women and girls, right? So engage them, hook them in at the very beginning so they want to keep reading, okay? Keep it simple. Doesn't have to be anything overcomplicated. And stop second guessing yourself. Just write. And write how you talk, okay? I can tell, and I know you guys probably can too, when someone sends you a message that's scripted. Can you tell? Because it doesn't sound like them. It sounds like it's scripted. It sounds like someone else. And so you need to talk how you talk. For instance, I say, and it's so dumb, and my grandma would just smack me probably if I spoke, she heard me, but I'm always like, oh, that's so awesome. I say so a lot. That's how I talk. I don't know why, but I do. So see, that's how I speak. So just, you talk how you talk. That's who you are. Don't script it. Don't talk how anybody else talks. Don't make it feel like your grammar has to be perfect. Just be you. Okay, so when you're telling a story, you need to have your headline. That's your hook, right? Hook someone in. Maybe a bit controversial, maybe a bit misleading, and then it needs to relate on a personal level. All right? And then you want to have a call out where, or that's your storytelling. Write a story all about that. And you can end with a call to action. You can end just with a simple, maybe you don't know the answer. Okay? You just know that something needs to change with how we're doing anything. Okay? Otherwise, you give them a solution to their problem. You can do a call out where you're calling someone out, like a have you ever type of a post, or can you relate, or can you think of a time when blank, okay? And then you want to hook them in the first sentence again. Always make sure that very beginning is something that's going to make them want to keep reading. Have you ever found yourself in whatever? Maybe a plateau, maybe. And it can be, you need to weave fitness and health in there because that's who we are, but it shouldn't be everything. If you're writing people a letter, you can write to people you love. Maybe you just write to a group of people. Maybe you write to some stranger. Maybe you write to the man that is standing out in the bitter cold, ringing the Salvation Army bell, right? Because you noticed something he did, or that he's out there every single year ringing that bell, no matter the temperatures. I mean, anything, okay? Write a letter to somebody. And you need to be vulnerable, okay? Be vulnerable. I know it's hard. I don't like to talk about that type of stuff, but you need to so people start to trust you. All right, so, right, you're going to hook to get them in. You are going to connect with them on a personal level, an emotional level, or their pain points, otherwise known as their pain points. You're going to offer a solution or a pathway, right? Pathway to be better. And like I said, maybe there's no solution, right? Like with my Muscles on Women Are Gross, I just said we need to do better about educating our girls about that being healthy and strong is good. We need to educate them better. We need to be better about teaching them that. Okay. And then your ending can be a call to action. It can be a sale or an offer. If you want, few and far between with those guys. And one thing I did learn is that if you try to sell off of your personal page, Facebook can shut you down. So maybe a call to action would be better. Some way that you're moving people forward, okay? Anyway, whatever it is you're focusing on, move them forward to help them. So like to push them towards something better in their life. And it might be just to bring about the best in people, whatever it may be, right? So questions on that, okay? Well, think about them and we'll ask them here in just a few minutes. One thing that I want to go back to are those questions that I asked you. So you need to show people why Beachbody is attractive, okay? You need to show people why you're a coach and that you're not just here to sell to them. Why did Beachbody help you? How did it make things better? Okay? Because I will tell you that for me, I love Beachbody products, okay? But for me, it was the environment. It was the atmosphere. It was the people. What? You can get good products, but that's not what drew me to this company. It was the people that I had met and the people in the groups and the environment and the inspiration. And it was so positive. That's what drew me in. That's what I need to be sharing about. They know the products, the experiences, the emotions. That's what you need to show people why Beachbody is attractive, why you join Beachbody. All right. And you need to do it in your posts. Everything you post is selling something. It's one of Cody's, he says it a lot. Everything you post is selling something. You selling negativity. You selling a pity party. You selling a rant. What are you selling? You should be selling you. Right? They want to come to you. They want to trust you. So share a story, a calculated story at a certain time. All right. All right. So I am going to unmute you guys and let's ask some questions. I'll probably stop the recording. Let me see if I can do that.